はい、こんばんは、こんくら。ちょっとね、だいぶ昔に買ったなんかハーストーリーっていうね、ゲームをちょっとやってみようかなと思います。アーカイブにアクセスするために検索ワードを入力してください。検索ワード殺人。なんかね、こういう警察のデータベースの端末でなんかいろいろキーワードを入れてね検索して、で出てくるね動画を見てなんか次のキーワードを探して検索してみたいな、なんかそんな感じのゲームらしいです。でいまいちねちょっと面白いのかどうかわかんないけど、でこれで今殺人でね検索したんですけど、これでこの3つのね動画が今見れるようになってて、でこれを見てみると、セッションに保存って何？
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
っていう短い動画で、待って、ストーリーがSteam の商品ページによると、1994年のイギリスで一人の男性が行方不明となり事件が発生した。その男性の妻とされる女性に対する事情聴取は数日間7回にも及び、その際に録画された映像は警察のデータベースに保存されている。なんでこの人が、行方不明になった男性の妻か。でプレイヤー警察の端末を操る人物となり、分割された事情聴取映像をもとに事件の手がかりを探っていくとのことです。で、またそうツイッターに投稿してねえわ。投稿しとこう。で、今見たのは特に
Yeah, that's me. But February? I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモンってのが殺人なの？行方不明になったって書いてあったけどね。サイモンがその行方不明になった男性なんだろうか。2月。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
ちょっと待ってよ。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
90年6月27日。これが7月でしょ？で時系列的にはこれが一番新しいやつなんだ。
Yeah, that's me. But February? I mean, that was
2
months
月。
ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
サイモンって検索してみようかな。で、サイモンで検索すると、こう出てきて、ただ最大で6個までしか出ないって書いてあった気がするけど、5個かでも。52個のクリップが見つかるけど、アクセスできるの最初から5番目のクリップまで。ユーザーセッションに保存されたクリップ。
Simon Smith.
サイモン・スミ
He
ス。
works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
アーンスト・ブラザー
Windows,
ズ。
all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature
メモ帳
windows,
開いとくか。
artistic things. Really beautiful things.
ちょっと待って、なんてアーンスト・ブラザーズって言ってた。ちょっともう一回見ていい？
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do
ガラス
windows,
会
all
社。
kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making,
鏡とか
featuring
窓
this,
の装飾。
artistic things.
鏡とか窓の装飾。はい。
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
ザ・ロックという店。ピーターとスーザンが働いてて、娘のヘレンも働いてる。まあお酒の店かな、バーとか。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one.
アムストラット。
No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, can save the princess, that kind of thing.
塔に登ってお姫様を救うやつ。なんだそのゲーム。マリオとか。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy.
自暴自棄になるような人じゃない。
There must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next? Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
94年6月18日。まあ、サイモンがまだ行方不明みたいな感じでなってるやつね。アーンストブラザーズって言ったから、まあ、これは今見たやつか。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst
あ、しかもこうやってちゃん
Brothers.
と
Special artist.
動かせれるんだ。あ、止めたりもできる。なるほど。じゃあこれはあんま関係ないね。ガラス。ガラスに関してなんかいっぱい出てきたな。7個のクリップがある。
No, he doesn't.
タトゥー。ノータトゥー。
He has a scar down here near his stomach.
傷がある。
That's his hip. Cut himself with some glass.
ガラスで切っ
That
た。
was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo.
メガネをかけてい
Glasses
る。
on here, though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly. You know, he has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much or watching TV. He likes TV.
テレビ。本は読まない。テレビを見る。
I did. Well, we met when we were 17, both working at
ガラス屋で
places.
働いて知り合った一緒に。17の時に知り合った。で、
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's
学校辞めてガ
generosity.
ラス屋の社員になった。
We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby if it came. It was a
赤ちゃんもい
nice
たんだ。
change, time to myself,
赤ちゃん
living there for those months.
のための部屋があっただけか。赤ちゃんがいたわけではない。
And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's
エ
children.
リック。
Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys.
小野静香。
Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
イケメンだったんだ。はい。そしたら、エリック。ガラス屋の人なのかな、エリックは。14個のクリップ。
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch It's a really
腕
nice
時
one.
計
That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey
ダッ
duffel
フル
coat,
コート
like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house. So,
金曜の
Friday
夜
evening, we had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. Still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come and see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
金曜の夜にザ・ロックという店があれか最後の目撃された場所。
Yes, there's a
Cavalier.
Cavalier. And a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look
仕
after it.
事用バンもある。
Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver
銀
one.
色のビザカード。
He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash. But Eric convinced him to get one.
ビザカード持ってる。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
草のダイヤ。とりあえず今んとこ全然わかんないですね。じゃあダイアン調べてみよう。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
子供が2人いる。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time. It must
グ
have
ラ
been
スゴ
lately.
ー、グラスゴーに。
I was in Glasgow then.
この人も奥さんも容疑者ってこと？
That's Simon's watch.
この時間。あれかな、遺体が見つかってんのかな。
He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Seedfax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel in the
Fennel.
supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
フェンネルってなんだっけ？料理？そういう料理か。
Simon and Eric arguing? No. I can't
なんでギター持ってんのこの人。
We get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
フェンネルってハープなんだ。なんでギター持ってんのこの人。でクリップ5個ね。ダイヤに関するクリップはこれ全部か。どうしようかな。じゃあザ・ロックっていうパブかなこれ。 これも5個ですね、クリップ。じゃあセッションに保存しちゃった。
I mean, I guess the rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
The rock. ちょっとこれどうやって消すのこれ。まあいいや。
Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locked.
閉めるとロックがかかる仕組み。これ鍵のロックね。閉めるとロックがかかる。
Yes, I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
じゃあピーターはもう見たやつか。スーさん。じゃあこのザ・ロックという店はあんま関係ないのかな。
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
ブロンドの女性が好き。
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. And bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have. This other person doesn't exist. I
もう
don't
一人
know
の
what
人
blonde
物。
wig
ブロン
is,
ド
but
の
it
ウ
could be
ィッグ。
anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
左腕にタトゥーが入ってるね。
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar.
なんでギター持ってんの？
Okay. Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street.
長えなこの動画。
There were 2 sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the
この
captain.
歌詞もヒントになってるのかな。
Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, hear swings and swan. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
でこの歌詞あるだけか。どうしようかな。傷。
Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No.
自殺ではない。
Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before. I once put my hand on the oven.
あれさ、腕の入れ墨なくない？ あ
One
る
of us
か
got hurt. The other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's too much.
花。
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snapped a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits. If one of us got...
私が歯を失った時は花の歯も同じように抜いた。私が恋人のいる男を寝取った時は次の日に花がその恋人に殴られて目にあざ作った。その夜私が花に殴られた。しかも花は容赦なくて数日間目が開けられなかった。花。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work from here, though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
グラッドストーン、ハナ・スミス。この人の名前がハナ・スミスなの。奥さんがハナ・スミスで、グラッド何？グラッドストーンストリート。イブのことを話す。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry. Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
フローレンスという助産
When
師が
Hannah
い
was
た。
born, I was born.
私と花は同時に生まれた。
The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
なんか今画面に映ったな。なんだろうね。姉妹なのかな、双子なのか、
She recognized me.
多重人格とかなのか。
She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
これ花じゃないってことだよね。奥さんが花スミスで、これイブって名前のやつかな。
Well, my friend Eve.
友達なの？
She was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing.
ボブ・ディランがロンドンに来てたので、
his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
待って、この人はハナ・スミスってやってんだよね。
My mother called me Eve.
母は私をイブと呼んだ。
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
リンゴとヘビ。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
時系列が全然わかんないけど、そこメモっといた方がいいの
He
か
saw
な。
me singing.
彼が歌っている私を見つけた。
Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
あれか、双子で生まれたけど別々に育ったのかな。どうしようかな。今ね、もうあれだもんね。待ってて、この人さ、タトゥーがないんだよね。
I mean, I guess the rock. You've spoken to everyone. Oh, my tattoo.
別人だよね。
Oh God. Oh, my tattoo.
で、それはいいとして、どうしようかな。何調べようかな。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car. So, it was Friday evening. Actually,
これが花だよね。タトゥーが入ってるのがイブでいいのかな。
when she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face. She knew. When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister.
ああ、じゃあそのあれか、旦那がこの双子の姉妹とできちゃってるのを知って殺したってこと？これどうなったらクリアになるんだ。
I got in the car and I drove. And just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back. Yes. A rubbish truck went past. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted The streets were empty. I was driving
タクシーにぶつかった。
and I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a
免
driving
許を持ってい
license
な
on
かっ
me.
た。
But when I told him I was pregnant,
妊娠してるというと心配され
he
て病
made
院に行く
sure
こと
I
になっ
got to
た。
the hospital so they could check me out.
こっちがイブの方か。
The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car. I got in the car. Tired.
病院行った妊娠
I got pregnant.
妊娠したの。
Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
これはハナ・スミスでしょ。
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, the dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness. No. Well, yes. You found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
うーん。
Yes. I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories. I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
このリードミーとかあったんだ。テープは文字に起こした資料などが手元にある場合は発言の全部をダブルクォーテーションで書くことでその発言と完全に一致するクリップを見つけ出すことも可能。これがこうサウスイーストコンスタブラリ時計 録画。これは DB チェックか。1個のファイルが見つからない。これはハック。なんだこれ。ミラーゲーム。クラックスウィズクラス。どういうこと？ミラータイル。オセロ。病院。
Ask the hospital.
病院に連絡して。記録があるって言ってたね。
We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital?
それがアリバイになるんだね、この人の。
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me.
サイモンより花の方が大事だと思った。タクシー。あ、ないか。花は見たもんね。
Not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
ワインが好き。
God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone followed him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
なんだろうな。なんだろう。死体とかで。
The bruise.
あざ。
I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. I...
死体を見つけたんだ。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over.
地下室に
I went down there with the torch,
死体があったということ
went
か。
straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police. His body didn't look real. And his throat, it looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear.
メガネかけてなかった。どういうシーンなんだ。
1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents
エ
died
レノア。
in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just... It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. The forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
両親も亡くなってんだ。
Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the doctor. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bows. Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, he made fiddle pegs from her finger bows. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain. The sound could pierce a heart of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was, oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
物騒すぎる歌詞。まずさ、死因とかは出てんのこれ。ないのか。凶器、これ見たやつか。殺人の凶器もなければ証拠もない。ただの作り話。これ最初の方で見たやつか。
Okay. Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
これどっちなんだこれ。これ花じゃない方だよね。
She's crying.
あ、すまさんこんくら。
She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman.
ちょっとハーストーリーっていう
But it's okay because she finds
積み
out
ゲーを
it
今
wasn't
消
her
化してま
husband,
す。
it was his brother. And so it's fine.
いや、怖くはね全然ないんですけど、なんか推理ゲームなのかなと思ったけどよくわかんないですね。彼女が見たのは実は夫じゃなくて彼の弟だった。
Yes. She's an affair. Simon wasn't having an affair.
なんかひたすらビデオの映像を見るだけのゲームみたいな感じ。
No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon. Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. Have I ever cheated on Simon?
そうなんですよ。なんかサイモンって人が死んだんですけど、その奥さんに事情聴取してる映像みたいなんだけど、多分ね双子なんですよね。
You asked that question yesterday.
なんかこのタトゥーがある時とない時があるから。
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the rock.
なんか双子の姉妹みたいなんですけど、なんかよくわかんないです。これどうやったらゲームクリアになるのかもよくわかんないな。
Yeah, I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried.
そうですね。で、なんかこういうビデオでなんか出たキーワードとかを検索してまたなんかビデオを見るみたいな。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us, there's always been pressure. I hoover my dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that. Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
これクリアとかあんのかなっていうか。
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day.
一日に一回はエレノアと話している。なんかこぼしてる。なんだあと。
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
もう一度カードをやる。なんだ。ラプンツェル。なんかいっぱいビデオあるな。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
なんかね、この女性が奥さんらしいんだよね、死んだ男性のサイモンって人の。で、この人にはなんか双子の姉妹がいたっぽいけど、別々で育ったのかな。
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there? We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour. shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
このゲームのクリア条件って何なんだろうな。どうしようかな。どっかに犯行を告白してるビデオとかあるのか。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
何？口論になった？プレゼントくれて赤ちゃんの話をして口論になった。ああ。誕生日。
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that. It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
プレゼント。
It wasn't the present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it especially for me.
鏡がプレゼントだった。
About 8 years back, it was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup. Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
なんか真相に迫ったのかな。どっちが殺したのかよくわかんないな。
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
うん。
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in, as good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So, it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
自供してるな。お、なんか演出入った。時計はでも見たな、ビデオで。
A wig? You mean, what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, in parks, in alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
なんだこの演出は何なの？
It was 9 that night. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
なんだ2人で殺したのかな。何検索しよう。なんもないか。なんだあとだいぶ確信に迫ってる気がするんだけど、これ多分あれかな、見たビデオかな。半分ぐらい見てないのかな。何で検索しよう。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
主人公の顔が画面に出るようになってきた。
No, I was 15. Carl was older, 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
主人公ね、何なんだろうね。わかんないな。ストーリーのところにはよくわかんないんですけど、なんかゴミ箱にハックとかあるからワンチャンなんかハッキングしてんのかな。とりあえずこれは警察のなんか端末らしいです。まあ、それを使ってなんか調べてるっぽいけど。
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
待って。カールと
So,
別
Carl
れ
fucked
て
off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then
サイモンと出会った。
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
じゃああれか、双子で入れ替わりながら同じ人と付き合ったりしてたんだ。だからなんか歯が抜けたりしたらもう片方も歯抜いたりしてたんだ。バレないように。
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that
一
one
心
time.
同体みたいな感じで生活してきたのか。なんなのこの演出は。カール。双子だよな。
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? Are you out of your mind? Twins? There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things. It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
この片方は違う家族に引き取られたっぽいんですよね。誰？どんな感じで終わったのか。SB？ 終わったのか。あ、これ終わったって言ったらもう終わっちゃうのかな。終わったら教えてくれ。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
ねえ、そうなんですよね。なんかこうやって関係ないこと言ったらどうなんだろうな。ダメだ。なんか決まったワードしか入れれないのかもしれない。まあいいや。まあ終わったって言ったら多分エンディングになるのかな。検索しようかな。相手の正体、確かに何かな。誰？無理か。ダメだな。まだは入れれるんだよね。終わったが入れれないな。あ、じゃあまだダメなのかもしんない。まだしか入れれないな。
No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one.
確かに SB 検索してみようかな。
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective.
出ないか。なんかのイニシャルだよね、 SB って。
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
サイモンはね、でも死んでて、サイモン・スミスだっけな、名前は。なんでそれはね、多分ないと思いますね。多分。あとなんだろう。
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up, take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
そうそう、このね、そのサイモンが死んで、その奥さんがこれみたいな。あ、でこれあれか。
Across the road, when my parents
フローレンスっていう助産師が連れ去ったのかな。
When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
死んだことにして自分の子供としても連れ帰ったんだ。
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me. Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know. No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week. No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. It helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, it just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page.
あ、マジ？ちょっと待って。本当だ、ちょっと待った。何も変えてなかったかも。鬼武者本当だ。あんのかな、ハーストーリーとか。あるわ。ありがとうございます。完全に使い回してたから。あ、じゃあ鬼武者のこの間やったやつもあれか、相馬入ってたのかな、もしかしたら。どうしようかな。手紙。ないか。このゲームかね、あとアウターワイルズってやつをやろうかなと思ったんですけど、なんかアウターワイルズめっちゃクリアまで時間かかるっぽいから、ちょっとこっちにしたんですけど、これもしかしてもう 終わったは入れれないか。SB。何で調べよう。助産師。マジっすか。なんか攻略見ないと無理系なのかなあれ。あとなんか結構 3D 酔いするみたいななんかレビューがあったから、どうしようかなって。クリアに30時間くらいかかるらしいし。結構長いですよね、30時間。検索履歴とかここにあったんだ。アンチグレアって何？宇宙船の操作が結構視点がぐるぐるする感じなんですかね。それだとなんか酔いそうだな。これ見てないな。
I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there and I... Is there a bin? Yeah, I pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted.
これもしかしてこれはいで入力できる？もしかしてはい入力できるんだ。ちょっと待ってよ。リードミーはまあ使い方で本当のリードミー。こいつがデータベースだ。情報公開法に沿って申請し、ゲストとしてのアクセス権を取得しておいてよ。見たところちゃんと機能しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われたみたいだが、その後のY2K 騒ぎ、Y2K。これ2000年問題ね、多分。こいつは放置されたままになっていたようだ。残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方は見つけられなかった。あるいは1997年の洪水の際にやられてしまったのかもな。SB。いや、これもしかして、子供かな？この調べてる主人公って。この女性の。子供が大人になって自分の母親のやつ調べてる説。このハ は何なんだ。酔いはしなかった。確かに操作むずそう。親を調べてる説。これ2000年問題だろうな。これはいにしたら多分終わるのかな。はいにしてみようかな。もうなんか、だいたい話の内容分かったしな。なんなのこの音は。はい押した俺。あれはい入力しちゃったわ。そうか、それじゃ分かったのか。君の母さんがなぜあんなことをしたのか。やっぱそうだね。子供か。いいえ。仕方ないさ、サラ。なんなら日を改めたって外で待ってるから。ログオフして出てきて。女の子なんだ。女の子？でもなんか、画面になんか反射してるの、なんか男性に見えたけどな。
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Ne, Eva. 女の子。ユーザーオフラインか。ログオフして出てきてくれ。クラッカー、サイバーゴースト。何なんだ。こいつが主人公説。ないか。出てみるか。じゃあログオフして外に出る。どうなんだろうね。アスキーアート。いや終わりっぽいな。まあちょっと解説を後で検索してみてみよう。結構面白かったな。終わったっぽいですね。多分もっとなんか調べてビデオ見たらより真相が分かったんだろうけど、これなんだろう。支援者とかのあれかな、名前かな。すげえスタッフロール。いや、アウターファイルズどうしよっかな。でも結構序盤でやめました、ノースモさん。なんかレビュー見たらなんか最初ちょっとつまんないらしくて、なんか 2、3時間やったらなんか面白くなるみたいな書いてあったんだよな。アウターワイルズ。なるほど。操作か。いや、でもバイオハザードとかもやりたいからな。なるほど。なんか同じ一日を繰り返すみたいなゲームなのかな、あれ。なんかよくわかんないけど。これちょっと待って。ああ、もうこれ、はいにはできないんだ。じゃあいいや。OK、じゃあ、終わるか。ちょっと、解説動画的なやつ探してみよう。ということで、ここまでご視聴いただきどうもありがとうございました。コメントと高評価もね、ありがとうございます。ノースモさん、最後までお付き合いいただきありがとうございました。はい、おつくら。ではでは。またね。